Hey, it's me again. So on the weekend we were watching a movie downstairs, and after the movie was done, came upstairs, let the dog out. I said to my wife, "Hey, did you turn off the projector?" She says, "No, did you?" And I said, "No." She says, "Oh, it's okay, I heard the screen go up." Alerted me right away that something was wrong. So I went downstairs, and sure enough I look up at the projector and the little red light was on lamp, which tells me that the bulb burnt out. So my projector is a BenQ W1080ST. This is the housing in it. Now for different projectors they're going to be somewhat similar. A bulb like this in Canada, here I live in Canada, new bulb like this from BenQ is like 350 bucks, aftermarket's like 160. I keep my housing, and now what I do is I buy replacement bulbs, just the bulbs. I'm going to show you what you need to do to put that bulb into this housing. I'll put a link to the Amazon page where I bought it down below. I get about 2,500, 3,000 hours on these, and the bulb costs me 60 bucks instead of, like I said, 180. So I get a little less time out of it than out of the BenQ bulb, which is about 4,000 hours, but I'm saving money along the long run. Okay, so in my opinion, one of the mistakes people make is they don't use the right screw for the job, and looks like, oh no, that one isn't a screw hole. So just because the screw's small doesn't mean you need to use the smallest screwdriver you have. I'm using a precision screwdriver, but it's got a fairly big end on it. What you do is, especially with Phillips, put it in there and make sure that there isn't a lot of little wiggle room in there. As you can see, this bigger screwdriver actually is looser than the smaller one here. And if I go even smaller, then they're too loose as well. So try different screwdrivers, get the right one for the job, because you don't want to strip these screws. That would be not fun, not ideal. So I'm just going to start by taking off the side plate here. And if you have a different model, the one thing that I will recommend is always compare the length of your screws to make sure that they're the same length. Otherwise, on a piece of paper, write down where you're getting them from. I have that housing off. Now I can get these screws off that are actually on the housing here. You'll see this is actually a very, very simple job. Just be careful that you don't spin the screwdriver out of the Phillips head on the screw, because you do not want to strip these. Let's see here. Yeah, so I can get this screwdriver, I can get in there. I'll take that piece off. Okay. So remember what side this is from. That was there, that was there. Okay. Okay, and then take the bulb out. I always like looking at the bulb here. So I'm going to get my new bulb out. I'm just going to dry off my gloves here, make sure that I don't have any moisture on them. Okay. And here's my bulb. So it's really important here that you don't want to be touching these bulbs with your bare hands. I'm going to do a quick inspection to make sure there's no damage on the bulb anywhere, because if there is, then I'm going to send that back right away. Okay, seeing none, I'm now going to place my bulb in here, as so. So these bulbs on here, they rest just on top like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these pieces back in. I've always struggled somewhat with this, so this may take a few attempts. Now if I do not mistake this, yeah, well, I told you they're different. There's this little notch here, and there is on the bulb. Can you see that? I'll zoom that in a little bit for you. Right there, a little notch. So that's going to rest on there like this, and that's to make sure that the bulb is oriented the correct way. Okay. So I'll seat that in there again. And that's just so that you've got the terminals the right way here. So you get that in, slide that in, it seats real nice. Bulb doesn't move. We can do this side as well. There you go. Okay, and now you might find the dexterity a little bit easier without the gloves on, but if you can, keep them on because you really want to avoid touching the bulb here. Okay. These back ones are always tricky because you kind of just drop it in there and then hope you get it to line up. But that actually came in first shot. You'll notice I'm not tightening it very much. A little bit of history for you. The Phillips screw was apparently invented by Ford Motors to prevent the over tightening of hardware. So then just give it a little bit of a tighten to make sure that they are tight. Okay, and then it was the one on the left was the one that was further out. So these are going to be loose, so I'm going to get myself my multi-tool. I don't have it with me, so I'll do that after the video. Make these just a little bit tighter. I just have this housing to put on here now. This is the protective housing, and every single time I do this, I forget how it goes, and then I remember that there are 2 holes there and 1 there, and that it must go like that. So this is really all that is to it. It is not difficult at all. You can do this and you can easily save yourself the 50, 60, 80, depending on how much you've happened to find the bulbs for. You can save yourself a substantial amount of money by doing this yourself. And as you can see by this video, it really is only maybe a 10-minute job, a 5-10-minute job. And it seems a lot more intimidating the very first time you do it, but once you've done it a couple times, it is quite straightforward. So just as long as you do it in a place where if you drop these little screws, where you can find them again. Right. There you go. So I'm going to go once over again, like this. Make sure all the screws are tight. They will loosen a little bit, so making sure they're all tightened down. You didn't go too tight before, now we're going to snug them all up. So, okay, these are tight. I've tightened these down. I'm good to go. So, if this video helped you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing if you like my videos. I'm going to package this light up again because this is my spare lamp. I don't need to use this one. I will package it up and then save it for when my other light actually blows. Alright, thanks for watching.